Ajax versus Tottenham. It's May 2019, the Champions League semi-final, and somehow we've got Ajax versus Tottenham. No Real Madrid, no Messi, no Cristiano, just young talents from Ajax. This beautiful, innocent, lovable team had already knocked out Real Madrid and Juventus, with a squad powered by teenagers and pure emotion. Ligt, Jong, Ziyech, Tadić, all playing like their parents told them no dinner unless they score. Spurs, they stumbled past City in a VAR-fueled fever dream. Kane was injured. Their fans were mentally preparing for Europa League next year. First leg in London, Ajax win 1-0. Smooth, slick, tiki-taka with a Dutch passport. But now, second leg, in Amsterdam. Ajax just need to survive. Don't do anything stupid, just keep the ball, control the game. And at first, they absolutely do. 5th minute, corner. Ligt rises like a Viking. Header, goal, a 0-0 Ajax. 2-0 on aggregate, nothing to worry about. And later it turned out to be one of the biggest robberies ever. Erik ten Hag is smiling like a man who's already planning the final playlist. But then, 35th minute, Ziyech scores. What the fuck? Left foot, curl. Network 2-0 on the night. 3-0 on aggregate. It's done, finished, over. Ajax players are smiling mid-game. Fans already dreaming of Madrid. They're dancing. Total football is alive. Tottenham, dead, buried. Even Lucas Moura looks like he's about to cry. But then the devil came to visit. Second half, something weird happens. Ajax get nervous. They start pressing, start defending deep. Big mistake, because here comes Spurs. Lucas Moura scores in the 55th minute, sharp finish. Game suddenly on, no one cheers, everyone just goes, wait, what? Then, 59th minute, scramble in the box. Llorente falls over. Keeper spills it. Lucas Moura again. Spins, shoots, 2-2. What is happening? Ajax go from cruising to crashing in 4 minutes. Their defense? Gone. Midfield? Lost in space. Everyone's suddenly aged 10 years. But they still lead 3-2 on aggregate. They just need to hold on. 30 minutes, that's all. Ziyech nearly seals it. Smashes the post. Fans are biting fingernails. Ten Hag begging for the clock to move faster. 90 minutes. Still 3-2. Tottenham pushing, Ajax hanging by dental floss. 5 minutes added on. Everyone's heart rate now sponsored by defibrillators. But then it happened. 95th minute, last kick of the game. Ball drops to Del Ali. He flicks it through. Lucas Moura is there. He shoots. It's in. 3-3 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate. Spurs go through on away goals. Lucas Moura runs. Spurs bench explodes. Pochettino collapses into tears. Ajax players on the floor. Some are literally crying. De Jong looks like someone took his bike and dreams in one go. And just like that, Ajax, the most romantic team in Europe, are out. This was a robbery by fate. Because Ajax played perfect football. They were smarter. Slicker. They had one job, finish it off. But they didn't. Ziyech missed. Tagliafico panicked. Onana started wasting time in the 80th minute like Karma wasn't watching. And Lucas Moura scored a hat-trick. The only time in his life he's been mistaken for Messi. 3 shots, 3 goals, 3 funeral bells for Amsterdam. And the worst part? Ajax didn't deserve it. Not like this. They were 30 seconds from the Champions League final. And they got Lucas Moura. Ask any football fan and they'll tell you, this one hurt. Because this wasn't City bottling it. Or PSG doing PSG things. This was a perfect story. Ruined in the last sentence. After all, Tottenham reached the final. Just to do nothing, lost 2-0 to Liverpool, didn't even turn up. Final looked like a pre-season friendly in Qatar, while Ajax split up. De Ligt went to Juve. De Jong joined Barcelona's therapy circle. Ziyech and Van der Beek got lost in London and Manchester. Ten Hag eventually ended up at Old Trafford, wondering what went wrong. Ajax never recovered. Real Madrid versus Juventus. Real Madrid destroy Juventus in the first leg. 3-0 in Turin. Cristiano does a bicycle kick so good, even Juve fans clap. Game over, right? Nah, don't think so. Because in the second leg, Juventus show up like men possessed. It's Madrid. It's the Bernabeu. It's supposed to be a casual stroll for Real. But instead, really strange things happened. Mandzukic scores in the 2nd minute. Madrid fans blink, still confident and arrogant as always. But suddenly Mandzukic scores again. Same guy, another header. 2-0 Juve. Now it's serious. Real Madrid start sweating. Then, boom! Matuidi scores the 3rd. 3-0. Aggregate score now level at 3-3. Madrid look like someone just unplugged their charger. Juventus have one big advantage, it is Buffon. Buffon is 40 years old, chasing the Champions League at the time. This is his moment. The perfect comeback, the perfect goodbye. Until the 93rd minute. Madrid throw a hopeful ball into the box. Lucas Vázquez tries to control it. Benatia challenges him. What happens next? The drama to end all drama. Soft contact. Vázquez goes down. Madrid scream for a penalty. You can guess it by now. The ref points to the spot. 93rd minute, quarter-final, tie level. And this guy gives a penalty that wouldn't even get a foul in 5-a-side. Juventus players go absolutely insane. Everyone's surrounding the ref and wants to murder him. Chiellini's veins are popping out. Even the calm ones are losing their minds. And Buffon? Buffon turns into the Incredible Hulk. He charges at the referee, screaming, hands waving, even touching the reference. But then the idiot referee decides to just give a red card. Yes, in his final ever Champions League game, in the 93rd minute, Buffon gets sent off. You couldn't script this. He walks off, furious, crowd booing and stuff. Wojciech Szczęsny comes on, cold off the bench, to face a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty in front of the Bernabeu. Yeah, good luck. Ronaldo buries it, top corner. No emotion, just business. Real Madrid go through 4-3 on aggregate, and Juventus, they collapse on the grass like they've been hit by a meteor. Barcelona versus Chelsea. It's the year 2000 and Chelsea are underdogs, like proper underdogs. We're talking Dennis Wise in midfield, Gus Poyet and some other guys, but then the insane things happened and they found themselves toe-to-toe with Barcelona in the Champions League quarter-finals. Now Barcelona back then weren't quite the Messi death machine we know today, but they still had enough firepower to make a full Premier League team cry. Rivaldo, Kluivert, Luis Figo, and the arrogance of a team that thought they owned the competition. Then came the first leg at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea didn't just beat Barcelona, they bullied them. 3-1, tore them apart, tore them emotionally, tactically, you name it. Even Figo looked like he wanted to fake an injury and hop on a plane to Madrid early. Everything was going Chelsea's way. And for a moment, just a fleeting moment, West London believed in European dreams. But then happened the second leg, and that's when UEFA did something. First act of the match, Rivaldo's dive. This man didn't just go down, he performed. Like he was trying to win an Oscar and a Grammy for best sound editing. He barely got touched. The ref, straight-faced, points to the spot. Penalty. Second act, Danny Garcia's turn on the diving board. Another gentle breeze from a Chelsea defender. Another death scene. If this were theatre, it'd be sold out. Another penalty. Because hey, if you're going to rob someone, might as well go big. At this point, Chelsea's defenders are afraid to breathe near anyone. You so much as exist in Barcelona's penalty box and the refs blowing the whistle. But then it gets even better, because Celestine Babayaro, remember him? Fullback, Olympic gold medalist, all-round chaos magnet, gets a second yellow. For what, you ask? Breathing wrong, looking too Nigerian, probably didn't say please before a slide tackle. Either way, Chelsea go down to 10 men. Barcelona go into overdrive. They drag the match into extra time and then the collapse happens. Final score, 5-1 Barcelona. It wasn't just the penalties or the red card. It was the script. Chelsea were never meant to win. UEFA couldn't let that happen. Not when Barcelona had sponsors to please and history to preserve, I guess. Now, you won't find this one on most top robbery lists, but this was for sure the quiet robbery of all. The one where the thief tiptoes in through the back door and takes your wallet. But still to this day, I hear a lot of people saying that this was the biggest robbery of all time, but then you've never seen the next one who is, maybe even worse. Chelsea versus Barcelona. Yep, again, this time it's 2005, but only this time Chelsea's not some cute underdog anymore. They've got Mourinho now, and Mourinho, he's not here to play nice. He's here to park buses, cause drama and make enemies with entire footballing institutions before breakfast. Chelsea versus Barcelona again, but this time it's personal. And the ref? Let's just say he wanted to be the main character. Enter Anders Frisk, Swedish referee, golden hair. He'd later retire early because of this game. But before that, he delivered one of the most creative red cards in Champions League history. It's the first leg, Camp Nou. Chelsea doing okay, holding their own. Then boom, Del Horno versus Messi. Del Horno, Chelsea's left back, big, clumsy, about as subtle as a brick. Messi, tiny teenager. Messi runs. Del Horno lunges. Contact? Yes. Foul? Probably. Red card? Nah. Frisk pulls out the red like he's doing magic tricks. The crowd goes wild. Messi rolls like he's auditioning for something. And Chelsea, down to 10 men. Again, because I don't even know. But now Chelsea's 10 versus 11 at the Camp Nou. You know what that means. It's not football anymore. It's just survival. Barcelona score 2 goals, Chelsea lose 2-1. And that should have been it. Just a bad day at the office, right? But Mourinho? Oh no, he wasn't done. He goes full detective mode, tells the press that Frisk had a private conversation with Frank Rijkaard, Barcelona's manager, at halftime, which in football terms is like accusing someone of breaking into your house and rearranging your socks. Mourinho implied that Frisk got instructions at halftime. But then the insane part of all was that even the media ran with it. Chelsea fans fumed. Frisk even started getting death threats. After all, 2 weeks passed, and then the most sad thing of all happened. The man had to retire from football 2 weeks later. Yep. But then meanwhile, Chelsea plays the second leg at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea win 4-2. What the fuck? Terry scores the winner. Mourinho runs down the touchline like an absolute freak. Barcelona got a soft red in their favour. Chelsea got labelled villains for complaining about it. The referee had to go into hiding. Seriously. PSG versus Man City. Quarterfinal 2016, Paris Saint-Germain versus Manchester City, the oil money derby, first leg in Paris, chaos, and Cavani. Oh, poor Cavani. This man's relationship with the offside flag is borderline tragic. He scores a clean goal, or so we all thought, but the flag goes up. Offside. Replay drops and, guess what? He's onside by a full human shin. No VAR, no correction, just the flag. But the insanity gets even worse. Paris Saint-Germain get a penalty. Zlatan steps up and skies it. Like he's kicking it to Sweden. You think that's the robbery? Oh no. The real heist is in the second leg. City show up with a game plan. Give the ball to De Bruyne. Pray Aguero runs into something useful. Hope UEFA continues the tradition. PSG show up with tension, trauma, and Cavani praying for a fair flag this time. And then the madness happened. First robbery, PSG score a potential equalizer. Also they thought, Cavani again, perfectly timed run, clean finish, flag up, offside again. But the slow-mo replay is brutal. He's on, he's actually on, even his shadow is on. But then the second robbery. City get away with not one but two handballs in the box. First one, clear arm movement. Second one, the defender's arm doing the moonwalk. Ref waves it away. And then, as if scripted, Kevin De Bruyne scores. A stunning goal, to be fair. Outside the box, curled like it had GPS. But it hits harder when it comes after your entire tactical plan has been VAR denied in the pre-VAR era. PSG go out, City go through. VAR would have fixed this, right? Maybe. Or maybe VAR would have gone, sorry Cavani, your hairline's offside by 0.0001 millimeters, and given De Bruyne a golden pass for creativity. This was a robbery not with a bang, but with subtle sabotage. The kind where no one screams, but your wallet's gone by the end of the night. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. The unbelievable thing happened. El Clásico in the Champions League. Yep, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, and not just any Real Madrid. Mourinho's Real Madrid. You know what that means. Defend for your life, counter-attack like a Formula 1 car, and if all else fails, blame UEFA. The first leg was at the Santiago Bernabeu. It wasn't a football match, it was a war zone. One red card, constant fouls, referee panic attacks, and exactly zero shame on either side. But then in minute 61, the whole game became just WWE. Real Madrid are holding on. It's 0-0. Mourinho's masterclass in anti-football is actually working. Then Pepe goes in for a challenge on Dani Alves. Now, if you've never seen Dani Alves play, let me explain something. He can cross the ball, he can dribble, and he can die dramatically on command. Pepe raises his foot, studs showing sure, but he doesn't actually touch Alves. Alves collapses like a guy who just got hit by a meteor. Rolling, screaming, everything. Referee Wolfgang Stark sees the performance and gives Pepe a straight red card. No VAR, no second opinions, nothing. Pepe walks off looking like he just found out he's banned from every barbershop in Madrid, stunned, confused, definitely not guilty. But then Real Madrid, already defensive, now down to 10 men. They didn't take it right, we can say now. Mourinho, absolutely combusting on the sideline. Hands on head, arms in the air. He looked like he was witnessing the end of Western civilization. And honestly, he wasn't far off. Because what happens next is classic UEFA script writing. Barcelona smell blood. They start passing in circles like a cult. Real Madrid can't even get the ball out of their half. Then comes Messi. Glides through everyone. Slides the first goal in. Boom, 1-0. 10 minutes later, Messi again. Solo run from the afterlife. Through 4 defenders. Into the net. Even his own teammates looked surprised. 2-0 Barcelona. But now let me be honest. I know Pepe is a crazy one, but this time he barely touched Alves. There's footage from every angle. Still looks soft, but then after the game it became even more dark. Now Mourinho doesn't do subtle. So after the match, he holds what can only be described as a post-match TED Talk. Why? Why is it always Barcelona? At least that's what Mourinho said. He brings out the 2009 Oviedo robbery, mentions the Del Horno red in 2005, talks about how Inter Milan had to play with 10 men the year before, then drops the hammer. If I say what I really think, my career would end today. Legendary. And somehow, not entirely wrong. But UEFA, of course, didn't like that. They fined him, suspended him. Dortmund versus Malaga. Yeah, Malaga really played Champions League. Malaga got robbed this time. Like ski mask, full daylight, wallet gone robbery. This was the Champions League quarterfinals. Borussia Dortmund with Klopp. Malaga. Broke, boring, built on miracles and spare change. No one gave Malaga a chance, but what happened that night would open your eyes immediately. Let's fast forward to the second leg in Dortmund. First leg, 0-0 snooze fest in Spain. Now it's 1-1 in the second match. Malaga need 1 goal, and eventually they score it. Eliseo taps it in. Beautiful team move. Takes them 2-1 up with 8 minutes left. Nothing to worry about, right? Malaga really celebrate like they've just won the lottery. Which makes sense because qualifying for the semis with that squad was a miracle. And now Dortmund need 2 goals. In the last minutes. From a team that's run out of ideas, energy, and faith. But then the biggest robbery of all happened. Because in the final moments of stoppage time, the laws of football were turned off. 90+1. Dortmund score a scrappy goal. It's 2:30. Malaga are still going through on away goals. They just need to survive 60 more seconds. But then, Felipe Santana scores. Ball bounces around and stuff. Malaga's defense collapses into itself. And Santana pokes it in. The stadium explodes. Klopp sprints like he's late for a rave. Everyone's going mental. But except for one tiny important detail. The goal should not have counted. Actually, 2 Dortmund players were offside. Not questionable offside. Not VR might have a look. We're talking 5 yards offside. Standing next to the keeper and actually playing the game. Before you say, oh, but VAR wasn't around yet. You needed a working pair of eyes and maybe a basic understanding of who is between the goal and the attacker. UEFA's explanation? Crickets. Literally nothing. no statement, no apology. Malaga were on the edge of the biggest result in their history. They had no business being in the quarters. They weren't even supposed to get out of the group, but they worked. They defended it. They scored a legit goal. Eventually, nobody cared. But the thing that makes it even more worse was that it was Malaga's only shot. They were broke. Players were about to leave. They couldn't pay wages. The club fell apart after this season. This was their one moment, and UEFA took it away with one blind whistle. Now they are not even playing in La Liga and maybe will never play Champions League again. Good job, linesman. Bayern versus Real Madrid. This game had everything. Red cards, offside goals, refereeing that felt like it was done via coin toss, and Real Madrid somehow walking away like innocent angels. Again, this was the 2017 Champions League quarter-final. 2 legs, 2 nights of madness, and Bayern Munich got absolutely mugged. First leg in Munich, real win 2-1. Bayern miss a penalty, Javi Martinez gets a red card. Okay, not the end of the world. But then the second leg happened. Oh, that's where the crime scene gets drawn. Bayern need goals in the second leg, and for most of the game, they play like monsters. Lewandowski scores a penalty, Bayern take control, then Ramos scores an own goal. Yes, Sergio Ramos, doing his best impression of a confused Sunday League defender. Bayern up 2-1, the tie is level. Everything's tense, crowd's nervous, refs sweating, but then Arturo Vidal gets involved. Now let's be clear, Vidal plays football like a man who got told he only has 10 minutes left on Earth. Aggressive, wild, all action. But that doesn't mean you send him off for existing. Vidal already had a yellow. He slides in for a tackle. He wins the ball. Clean, perfect tackle. Even the Real Madrid players barely complain. But the ref, second yellow, red, just like that. Bayern down to 10. The Bernabeu wakes up. UEFA probably pops a bottle of champagne. And with 10 men, you know what comes next. Cristiano Ronaldo happens. And then something even more shocking. The offside flag takes the night off. Maybe vacation or something. However, second goal, clearly offside. Like standing in another country offside. Replay shows Ronaldo miles ahead. Linesman sees nothing. Goal stands. Crowd goes wild. But then even the third goal is offside. Even more obvious, make it make sense. Hat trick complete. 1 legal goal, 2 goals that should have been flagged in a kindergarten match. Real Madrid win 4-2 on the night. 6-3 on aggregate. Everyone claps. And Bayern, they get told to go home. At this point, people started asking, is Real Madrid playing football or Monopoly with cheat codes? Because this wasn't just a mistake. It was a string of mistakes, all in one direction. And if you think Bayern fans were quiet, absolutely not. The post-match interviews were spicy. Neuer said, we were playing 10 against 14. Literally. Robben looked like he wanted to kick the 4th official into orbit. Even Ancelotti, the manager of Bayern at the time, the calmest man in football, called it a disgrace. Yep, his own words. No apologies, no explanation. Just a shrug and a reminder that human error happens. Sure, but it always happens for Real Madrid.